Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about using exponents to rewrite and evaluate numbers. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, go ahead and title this Exponents. And your essential question is, how can I use the exponents to rewrite a number? You're having a successful lesson if by the end you can rewrite a number using exponents. Okay, before we can even talk about it, let's talk about 3 vocabulary terms that are with exponents. Okay, so we know what they are. First of all, an exponent is the number of times that the base is used to factor, which means multiply, and the base is that common factor. So the base is that big number, and the exponent is that small number. Altogether, this makes a power. So if I ever say exponent, I'm actually trying to say power because the whole thing is a power. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on examples. And remember, if I go too fast, you pause your video, you take it slow. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going, okay? All right, example 1. Write the product using exponents. So how many times was 1/4 multiplied is our first question, because 1/4 is our factor, so that's going to be our base. Our base is 1/4, and how many times is 1/4 going to be multiplied? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the parentheses, I'm going to have 1/4 because 1/4, sorry, my pen's being weird. 1/4 each time is being multiplied. So to the 5th exponent. Okay. 2, we have 0.3 being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0.3 is our base, exponent of 4, and then we have x being multiplied 1, 2 times x squared. So that's how we can rewrite them. Let's talk about how we can evaluate them. All right. Up here, this one is called expanded form. Expanded form. And this is power form. This is your power. When we're evaluating a power, we're going to expand it to see what's going on. So for example 3, do you guys see how this 5 doesn't have a parentheses around it? This -5 doesn't have a parentheses around it. This is what it means. It means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, and a negative number outside of the parentheses for it. It's a positive 5 being multiplied 4 times, and then a negative sign tagging along with it. So we expand the problem out. This is how we evaluate. Expand the problem out. Now we're going to go through and do the multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, that negative sign is still tagging along with it. And then 25 times 25 is, it is 625. And that negative sign tags along with it. So when you're looking at it without parentheses, no parentheses, this negative sign needs to tag along with it. Okay. Now let's go and look and see what happens when we have it parentheses. First, to evaluate, we're going to expand it. So our base is going to be -1/6, and we're going to do that 3 times. That's what our exponent represents, is multiplied 3 times. -1/6, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them. That's where our exponent comes from. Okay. Now, a negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay. Now I have positive 136 times -1/6. Okay. A positive times a negative is a negative. And 1 times 1 is 1. 36 times 6 is 216. Now we're done. This can't be simplified, so we're definitely done. All right. So when you're evaluating, expand the problem out and then go through and do the operations. All right, 5. Let me change my color. I'm getting a little squish. Let's expand the problem out. Absolute value Remember, absolute value is the distance between the number and zero distance. And you can never have a negative distance, okay? So this says no parentheses, so negative 3 times 3 times 3 divided by 27. First, we're going to do the multiplication, order of operations. This isn't an equation. There's no variable and there's no equal sign, so we're using the order of operations. So make sure you're using, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, okay? Parentheses, we're going to go through and do the multiplication inside our parentheses. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. Now I have the absolute value of negative 27 divided by 27. Negative 27 divided by 27 is going to be a negative 1. So take the absolute value of negative 1. The distance between 0 and negative 1 is 1. So 1. 6. Order of operations, please. Excuse, no parentheses. So let's go ahead and expand out our exponents. So 9 minus 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 0.5. Okay. Negative sign needs to stay outside the parentheses because if it was negative, if they wanted it to be negative 2 each time, they would put a parenthesis around it. Okay, super important. Now we're going to go through and do the multiplication first. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 2, 4. Okay. 4 times 4 is 16. And then 16 times 2 is, if we don't remember I should see some chicken scratch on your paper. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 2 is 1, plus 1 is 3. Okay. Let's go ahead and rewrite. 9 minus 32 times 0.5. Order of operations, because there's no variable and no equal sign. Okay. Still working on that multiplication. So then what's half of 32? Half of 32 is 16. So 9 minus 16. All right. Now we're going to do the subtraction. And order matters for subtraction. Are we taking away more than what we have on our number line? We're at 0, we go to positive 9, and we're going to take away 16. We take away 9. We want to take away more to get a whole minus 16. We're going to definitely be in the negatives. So remember from last year, copy, change. 9 plus negative 16. Negative 16 is further from 0. The answer is negative. And then 16 minus 9 is 7. So the answer is negative 7. Awesome. Go ahead and start these on your own problems. Pause your video. When you're ready to check your answers, please resume. Thank you for pausing your video. Here's the answers that you should have got. Okay. For number 2, make sure you weren't the person who thought that negative sign was inside the parentheses and did negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, because there is a difference between these two. Okay. Also, for number 4, this one has it in parentheses, so it was in fact negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. This was your challenge question, so make sure you paid attention and you were trying really hard. You should have first done the exponents of 1/2 squared and 2 done the 5th exponent. Okay, then you should have done that division. Then you should have gone through it and did that subtraction. Okay, because then after the division, there's one number here. And then you should have gone through and did that multiplication there. All right, go ahead and answer that essential question and take that checkpoint. I hope you guys have a great day. Here's your essential question. Bye, guys.